And welcome back.
Everyone, another tension-free TV and drop of Dharma. Very exciting. Getting used to saying that.
Awareness Center Global. Get the app.
Just
Available
Awareness
now.
Center will do. Yep.
Awareness Center.
Tensionfreebody.com. We've got brand names for days.
We've got merch. Sean's got merch here. Got new merch. We're in the hoodies. Look at that on the back. Look at that. That's cool. Nice, man. Welcome back to another episode. How you been, man?
Really good, man. Really, really good. I'm really loving my new digs and my new space. I've got space to train and create. Met a lot of new, really cool people that are coming for training and healing, and super organic, like lead gen, man. I keep saying I'm going to do some marketing and can't even update my Google business profile because I don't have a street sign near my house to prove that I'm at that address. So they just won't verify me. So I've got to create signage, which means I need a logo to create the signage.
Chicken egg stuff.
Yeah, so I haven't got any promo at all, and I'm getting all this referral, which is, thank you, universe. Amazing.
Yeah, that's the best. It's a sign you're meant to be the Central Coast.
Bro, that's what everyone keeps saying to me. It's crazy. And I've been trying to go all the way up to Byron, but I just needed to get out of Sydney, and I just couldn't fathom the drive all the way to Byron to try and find a place to live while working in Sydney, where the only leads I really have, that I know of. But then as soon as I move here, people that are in Sydney are driving here to be treated at McMaster's. Like this lady came 2 hours, 2 weeks in a row it's crazy, but
that's mad.
So good. So good.
That's awesome. So we had some ideas for a post because we had a cool class last couple of weeks, the bright side and the dark side of changing. The dark side. Was that your idea for the chat today?
I just thought it was super cool because I've never considered how to broach the subject. And the idea that we're talking about life is so deep, but to say we're discussing the power of changing, that's like a cool way to describe it, because that's what everything is. Like you go from being a little kid to in school, and you suddenly like got responsibility and you got to leave your parents and go to school, take on new experiences, meet new people. It's challenge, but it's really just change. And then we see some events as big events, but it's really just change. And everything's the power of changing. So have the topic, a power of changing, is a really relatable topic because we all experience the power of changing all the time. In every moment, it's pretty much everything we do is deal with change.
Yeah, and I like that. It's a nice way to connect subjects, your change, my change, someone else's. You take all the individual words out, put changing in, it's like, oh yeah, big change, small change. It makes it less personal in a way to talk about it. It's kind of like, oh yeah, what was going on was great, and now it's something new, and now there's fear, worry, insecure, anxiety, but maybe it'll be good. You had a big change and changed locations, and
it changed everything. I was frustrated and I didn't have any space to create, and I moved out of Sydney, and mate, I'm just so at peace, and change it's amazing now. Like I've still got, like, there are challenges still, but it's a good challenge. It's much more fun.
It's funny how that part, like before you moved, you'd think, oh, there's that part, but it's like it's hard to imagine how great you'll feel when you're like, actually, this was a wicked decision. You know what I mean? People driving up, it's like organic leads. You're like, this is mad. But at the time, that was probably hidden or mixed in with other stuff, right? It was like,
Tim, just for a pure anecdote that you will completely understand, I lived 8 minutes from our friend Banksy. All right, saw him once, twice. I've been here a month. He just messaged me. He saw a video I put up, me grocery shopping at my Honesty Box supermarket on my street, organic veggies, 50 cents.
That's dope.
Yeah, and he saw that. He messaged me, was like, I'm coming up. And he's like, I've got to call him back to arrange a time to chat to him about it. He just called today. Like, I just talked to him today, and he's like, I'm coming up. I'm like, wow. I haven't seen him. I said, we used to live next door to each other. We never caught up. And now I live an hour and a half away, and you're coming up. Awesome.
Mate, I just love the old Honesty Box one. They've got one behind this mountain where Shengren Pubu is, Wise Man Waterfall. They've got like organic veggie, you just whack your coins in, and it's like, it's the best. It's like, it's a nice vibe,
Such a nice shopping experience too. Like, compare that to like self-checkout.
I know. Taiwan's got this one where it's self-checkout, but you got to sign up first to be a member. And it's like, Yeah, so it's like
Like Walmart in the US, you can't use a credit card there. You got to get the Walmart app.
or Costco, they make you to get the Costco credit card. So you get there, big queue, 16 people behind you, and you're like, credit card, and they're like, no, sir. And you're like, I don't have this much cash now. And they're like, oh, you'll need to quick sign up to a form. You're like, this is bollocks.
Anyway, the power of
Changing.
changing. The power of changing. We didn't used to have self checkout at all, and now it's like, yeah, it's
Did you
common.
bring your own bags?
Yeah.
So the way we got into the topic in our regular class was talking about three eternal Dharma truths, first eternal Dharma truth, interchanging. Should we do a similar one into that, or you want to have a more general
I just
discussion?
think explain that a consciousness named Pure Name Buddha explained this so many years ago, and we're going to listen to it now in 2025. Me and you talking over Zoom, and we're gonna like see how relevant it is. But yeah, that's a good way too. It's part of the eternal Dharma truth, like explanation. The word changing comes up a lot when we talk about eternal truth of life. So it's good. It's a good angle in too.
And it was in Sanskrit. It gets translated to Pali, traditional Chinese, to regular Chinese, and now to English. And it's still around. It's pretty cool. It's still there. So
Well, we're going to do our best to modernize it and make it relevant.
yeah, let's. Can I share this? Just share this.
Wow, the tech.
Tech Factor. What do you think? So we've got.
Drop of Dharma. Well done.
Yeah, I'm trying to just put it. I was like, the more I hear that name, the more I'm like, yes, yes.
Why do all the appearing forms of Dharma have to change? Great question.
It's great questions. Three eternal Dharma truth. Okay, so first eternal Dharma truth. I'll read. All the appearing forms of Dharma are constantly changing, so you can hold nothing. That's our sentence.
Yeah, try packing holes in that. And if you get any, want to hear them in the comments. Let us know what you find. Did you find anything that goes against that eternal truth? And what is it? And etc. etc.
Yeah,
Like
that's a
yesterday.
good. So that's a handy at-home exercise
Yeah,
to
see
try
if you
and
can find
break.
something that you would consider an appearing form, like it exists with a form, a shape. You can see it, you can smell it, you can taste it, you can touch it. It exists in some way, material, and yeah, is it changing or not? Let's get some examples in the comments.
Yeah, that's a good one because then if it kind of helps put it all into a category of like, oh, actually, I can't find anything. I used to
Yeah,
throw in gravity in there. I thought that was like being smart because I was like, gravity's not changing, but gravity is not really an appearing form. It's an energy force,
yeah,
but
wow.
it also changes depending on where you are. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
that's what I
never.
was going to say. And for the different life form, like like a bird can fly, a bumblebee defies gravity in some ways. Like it's flight.
Yes.
Oh, it's crazy. Like yeah, like there's some life that have figured out how to bend gravity. So it's changing for sure. It's relative.
For me, I thought like, oh, the word gravity is, but it's like, oh, actually, gravity always different for everyone. So it's like it was never constant. Um,
So why does it have to change? And Red Bull's answer was the best. Why not? That's what Dharma is. Just leave it there. Like that was cool.
yeah. So we had one of my friends says, why does it have to change? Why does it have to be this way? And then we listed out a whole bunch of.
Oh, that's right. That was a mad class. That's the way to learn hold nothing to match Dharma. Yep. No moving
Do
or
you want to kick
changing.
off the first one? We'll go blow for blow?
Yeah, for sure. So because if it's not changing, you essentially everything's stuck in holding. So, but it's not. So you learn to hold nothing because it's constantly changing, and you have to let it go eventually. It's cool.
Isn't that cool? Hey, it's like if without that change, everything would be fixed. You'd be kind of holding everything. You could never let go, and that would be very stressful.
Yeah, you'd be trapped in whatever dumb decision you made. I'd
Sorry,
still be
you made
working
that.
I'd be working at McDonald's. That was my first job. Was at McDonald's.
I would be cleaning ashtrays at a pub. I wasn't skilled enough to pour beers. I wasn't skilled yet. I hadn't been trained, so I was just ashtray guy.
Where we all ashtray guy at some stage, Tim.
Okay,
Okay, so
no moving, no life. To be alive means changing. That was from Michelle. That was really cool. So to be alive is to move. So if life wasn't constantly changing, what kind of life would that be? I'd just be frozen.
yeah, something stuck is and still is more like a rock than a live.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, life is illusion, nothing to hold. Change makes us learn sharing.
You gone a bit quiet on the mic. Did I click a
I
setting?
know.
Oh, that's better. Oh, it's mic distance. Mic distance.
Distance. Come in a bit. Is that better?
Oh yeah, nice, nice.
Okay. Life is illusion, nothing to hold. Change makes us learn sharing and generosity and kindness, kindness, kindness.
Yes, kindness. What does that one mean for you? Number three.
Life is illusion, nothing to hold. Change make us learn sharing. Well, I guess like there's so many ways that we try to hold things. Like I remember having opinions and being stuck with them, and then having someone present to me perfectly valid other opinions, and I just resisted them, and it was, not harmony. It wasn't a good discussion. And later on, when I learned not to do that, I ended up having a revisit of those ideas, and they were really good, and I implemented them, and my life got better. So, I was resisting things that were good for no good reason other than a blind habit to hold on to whatever I had experienced or heard or understood in the past. And it's like I didn't want to learn more. I didn't want to have to admit there was more to develop, or I wasn't already good at something. So I was holding, and that wasn't sharing. The conversation was just heads ramming, and we didn't have a good time. They didn't feel heard. I didn't hear anything.
Ah, yeah, it's a lose lose all around that one.
So there's no sharing, and no one gets anything new. And if imagine going to a party and everyone's just standing around waiting for someone to come and share to them, but no one's sharing, then no one starts the sharing. It's all just everyone holding back. And yeah, that's pretty boring. So you can either be the one that creates the sharing, or you can be the one that waits to get something first. And you're not sharing, you're receiving or trying to get. And that's not generous. That's not kind. So you're stuck forgetting that life is illusion, that will always change. Whatever you've got, you're going to get sick of it, lose it, break it, or something eventually you'll get sick of it. So you might as well share it while it's the hot new item and make some cool friends.
That's cool.
Especially if you've got it in abundance, especially when you got it in abundance.
Mm.
And that's what this channel is about. Like we've connected to so much of this Dharma. We've kind of got an abundance of ways to talk about it now. We can share it, and that's what this channel is about.
Yeah, that's nice. And that word, I feel, gets thrown around a bit. Like, I just got to feel, abundance and gratitude. And the word gets said, but then where's the follow up, which is like, here's why. And here's one example. It's like everyone is waiting around to share, but nobody's sharing. But
Nobody
being
shares.
brave to start it off, start the process, and then you go, wow, this is a great party. But it started with one person saying hi, doing something, bringing something. I like the party. The party example is a good one because
Great
we've all been in
analogy.
that awkward.
Imagine everyone's got a BYO beers to a party.
That would be weird, eh? I've actually been to a barbecue like that where everyone like brought their own. It was like, but I brought a whole bunch for everyone. But people were like, oh, here's my like two like free range. I was like, okay. So like the barbecue was laid out in such a weird way of like, this is yours. So yeah,
That's awkward.
yeah, this is my sausage.
This is you've had two sausages. You only get three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
only
called, and that whole miserliness character is so awkward and ugly. Like now that I've been around generous people, I gave away like some stuff for free on Facebook, and the caliber of people can sometimes just be really like they're just out to get, like, yeah, I'll take whatever you're giving away kind of thing. And you're like, that's, whereas I sold some fins for $10, and the kids that rocked up were like, oh, yep, they're the fins. And they pulled out their $10 note. And I was like, mate, don't worry about it. Like, I didn't want miserly people coming to be. And then they were stoked. They were like, what? I was like, yeah, man, put it towards your petrol. You're going on a road trip. Go to Port Macquarie. Use $10 a penny.
and $10 when you're a younger kid as well is like, oh,
Frothing. Frothing. First car, First new set of fins, first board. Let's go.
So good. Oh, number four. Number four. If it doesn't change, we could never appear as a form. We'd have no birth. Nothing changed. No one gets born. That was a cool one from Ricardo.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to go from egg and sperm to an actual little fetus and a baby without being changing. So yeah, tadpole becomes egg and sperm,
That's funny.
and then birth.
I never thought of it that way. I was like, that's each one. I was like, yeah, how you get here?
Yeah, how'd you get here, change? If no change, no need, and no way to learn wisdom. I think that was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was my one.
I remember you saying that. Yeah, no way to learn because it's not changing. You're stuck there, and there's no need to and no way to. That's cool.
It's like, oh, we've seen it, and it's just going to stay like this. It's like, okay, I'm done.
Done. That's it. That's great. Get the shirt. Get the souvenirs. We're done.
Level 1 finished. Game over. Like, and you liked this one, Red Bulls one.
Oh, that was great.
That was funny. Why not?
Sometimes when I was learning, like I remember like having people question the way things are, and a part of me was like, why question it? Just appreciate that that's the way it is.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a real zen, like right to it, like dung.
Yeah, I did agree with that.
That was just so funny, and because yeah, I think there's only a few people in the group that could have said that, which would have matched their kind of personality. I think you and him. I'm trying to think who else this character matches that one. It's not easy to simplify Dharma. Easy to write a whole book about it, and then complicated, but to like short, sharp, we like that.
It's more the feeling of how you say things. Like if your heart is really feeling sincerely humbled by it, like why not just accept that's what Dharma does? That's how it's explained, and that's what it is, and that's what it does. And you don't have to question it. You just have to observe it and be in harmony with it. Like it's almost like the ego is what often questions things and challenges it in a way. Like, well, how do I know it's that? And why is it doing that? And prove it.
Yeah, and it brings my ego, which is limited and has no understanding of this, at like an equal level. It's like here's Dharma that applies everywhere, and my ego's like, oh, why, or I don't think so. How do I feel about it? It's like make my ego super important. Whereas like the why not is like just put that to one side. It's like back in your box.
Sideline that.
Causation. This is your one, right? Causation needs change to appear. There's no changing. There's no cause effect. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's like in the thing, change, cause effect. Like that is the changing process, and it's happening at a very minute, microscopic, or atomic, or quantum, whatever level, and it's all the way bigger, big macro level.
Isn't that cool?
So cool.
I just never observed how, that word that you hear all the time, changing, relates to all of these concepts before. I was like, oh yeah, causation. I know about causation, but no, that's right. It doesn't work without the change.
Yeah. One of these guys I treat and train Tai Chi, he came to meet me through, he was doing, his daughter was doing kids yoga with Zen yogis. And she brought home a mandala or something they'd painted, and on it were written the words, "What is change?" And then the daughter had written, "Change is getting older. Change is growing. Change is new experiences." Like, and was writing out all this stuff. And the dad was like, what is this? What is my child learning? I would have loved to learn this at 6 or whatever, like change is new information, or like evolution, or like writing all this cool Dharma. Like, so that's what brought him to come and find me, was he asked where the teacher had learned it all. And yeah, Valerie was like from the group and that. So I was like, wow, that's cool.
So that's interesting. So rather than him introducing his daughter kind of introduced him to it through what she learned from Valerie's class into that's pretty.
That's gnarly. And he connected to it, and he had done a bunch of Wing Chun.
How is my 6-year-old so wise all of a sudden? Like, yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. How did my 6-year-old become like, able to write Dharma? That's crazy. So yeah, cause and effect is changing. And so with no changing, no cause and effect. And if there's no cause and effect, everything's random. And if everything's random, again, there's nothing worth learning. There's no system. Why would you learn anything if it's random? But it's not. It's not random. So we can learn something. And it's worth observing Dharma to then make sense of it and live in harmony with it.
Mm. That it seems it's another one that seems like self-evident, like, oh yeah, of course everything means anything. But like to really observe that sentence, like you said, if there's meaning, there is cause, there is effect, we can observe it, and therefore we can develop wisdom. It's like we don't have a nature to like apply that. We're like, oh, this thing always happens, and that's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, you know, no, I'm just too lazy to fix it.
Well, it's there for those who want to observe that, like, there's two powers in life. There's the constantly changing cause and effect. We can see it, be aware of it, experience it, whatever. And that's changing always. So what we experience changes always. But then the other eternal power that doesn't change is the awareness power. And yeah, we're using that to be aware of and make choices in all the changing. And I think sitting to observe that deeply, you start to like have no doubt in your heart that those two powers exist. And I always feel like I am me. I'm not someone else. Yeah, it's like a really cool way to calm your heart to observe those two truths, like two sides of life.
Kind of expands the view, kind of like makes you feel like calm and expands and like, ooh, there's a force there.
Big, magical, mysterious power that I don't appreciate enough to stop and observe. I just keep chasing the changing.
Oh, shiny. Oh,
Shiny.
shiny.
So funny. Anyway, causation, need change to appear. Yeah. And then no changing, then no free will. With changing, we can always have a choice and can improve, and the reset power. Yeah. That was me.
That was you. That was a good one. Yeah, like something is simple as free will that only exists if I can actually change something. Otherwise, I'm back in the jail, back in the box.
In the box, chocolate.
And reset power was one that got added last night. I thought that was nice. I think you said that last
Yeah.
night.
It always can go back to, you can always reset your intention. You can reset the situation eventually. It can always be changed and cleared and moved, and new situation. No matter how stuck you feel, there's always another angle.
Yeah, I was having a conversation last night with a friend, and she was saying that like sexism is kind of rampant. You know what I mean? Like growing up as a girl, it's kind of like always get talked down to or belittled in a way, and then that creates the kind of feminist man hating side. You know what I mean? Where it's like you just assume everyone's going to be sexist and putting you down, and then we're talking about when you get into an environment where that's not there, that still remains. Like that assumption of like I'm getting talked down to, I'm getting treated differently, blah blah blah. And I was like, because I was saying like, what happens when it's not present? Like I don't have that kind of misogyny. I got two sisters. There's plenty of girls in my house, so it's like if anything it was the other way. And she was like, yeah, it's hard to turn that off. You know what I mean? It's like you can't just reset that because you've had like a whole lifetime, parents, blah blah blah, all the way through. I thought that was interesting. Kind of like, oh yeah, you even though you're aware of it, it still runs. So
It's I was brought up with that whole messaging too, like toxic man and toxic masculine and macho and chauvinistic, because single mum psychologist, man, she was deep into that world, and I understand it, I can see it, but mate, there's toxicity in every type of life. Like it's not gender specific, it's not age, it's not. You can see it everywhere. It's generally not in kids as much, unless it's really taught to them by their parents or someone around them. But yeah, like that weak character can appear in anyone, and it can appear when you're just feeling vulnerable and you're stressed and desperate. You can turn to like losing control of your character and be really, really toxic and really damaging, or you stay strong and value being kind or value being restrained or You know, like it can appear in anyone. The problem with men is we're often more pent up and then more more powerful when they do break, and that's
Mm.
what creates
The fire
devastation.
appears and it's hot.
Like the
Venom.
psychology warfare can appear in both, and it's quite destructive as well. It's like it's hard to really, quantify damage like that, but that's why the next one's really perfect, because all of that outside we can't control. Whether someone's going to be that way or not, we can't control. We can only be observant, sharp, and get away from it. But what we can do is control our intention and what we choose to be, what we choose to say, who we choose to hang around, and what we choose to act like and value, absorb in and involve in. The subjects, the topics, and the priorities we choose. That is where we have power. We can't change the outside. We can change ourselves. And that can change the outside slowly,
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That
indirectly.
because that and she was asking me, oh, what, like, why do you like this philosophy? And I'm like, because I have like a brief moment where I can see, like, I want to reset, I want to get rid of that, but I end up just taking it forward every moment. I've heard the expression, you just take the past, you kind of throw it in front of you and then trip back over it again. But that Dharma gives that moment of like, oh, okay, I can't change that. Like you said, that toxicity is not just that subject. That's just the one I'm focusing on now. Actually, it can be the reverse. It can be all around. But
Mate,
back
and
to what I can control.
yeah, and also zoom out and look at the incidences of domestic abuse in same-sex female couples is some of the highest, because it's highly emotional, So
Interesting.
yeah, like gay guys, if they fight, bro, it can get gnarly. But so they try not to go there. Like, I always wondered that. I was like, how you have a fight with your missus and you're like, oh, I could just punch her in the head right now, but you never do. But if you're same sex and it's another dude and he's bigger than you can be like,
Straight to yelling and punches. You're like, yeah, actually, that would be. That's
yeah,
much worse.
it's like, and like if you look at the statistics, I'm sure if you look at the correlation, it's people who are trapped in greed, hate, stupidity, worry, and fear. Those weak to any of those characters appears in all life. You can fall into that. You'll lose control. You'll act like a tool.
Let's use that, right? Let's weave in. We'll come back to Uruguay. We'll come back to
Uruguay.
Uruguay. Can we? Because where this
Isn't
started
it
from,
Wu-Wei, not Uruguay?
it's
Oh, Uruguay, the turtle. I was going to say, doesn't Uruguay mean turtle? I forgot. Yep, gotcha.
it's turtle in Chinese.
It's
It's pretty
turtle
funny.
in Mandarin.
Yo, Sanga Uruguay over here. I had to give him a bigger tank.
How correct.
They're they're big now. They're big now. Before they were all afraid, but now I'm the shrimp guy. I bring fresh shrimp everywhere.
Dada now.
So this started Pure Name Buddha teaching the dark side. We've introduced this. He wouldn't have called it the dark side, but cool to make
Dark
us learn
side.
philosophy. What kind of touched your heart about this last night?
I just love when we hear that, like, an ancient conversation happened and this is what they talked about. I'm like fascinated, like, wow, let's go. And then when it says, oh, the power of changing is so powerful, that non-stop changing, never repeating happens. You can't stop it. No matter how, if you don't understand it and it stresses you out, you can't stop it. It's going to keep happening. And that fact, the fact that you can't stop it will make you act in all these crazy ways. And it's like, wow, let's read them. That's so interesting.
Yeah, I like the list factor because I mean, firstly, it's a big list, and so you're like, oh, okay, there's lots of ways I can screw up, and then each one we went through was like, oh, totally, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Uh, so I wrote, we can be aware of this side to check we're not creating causation in a wrong direction, because sometimes I read a Dharma wisdom and I think, wow, that's really far away. Don't know how to do that, but I like when it has, here's the wrong way. I'm like, oh, okay, that's where I can focus.
Don't do what Donnie don't do does.
So a bad action system, the explanation that I didn't write that I remember when Siva first read it was the bad action system doesn't have the repercussions immediately. So, sometimes if you're driving, you you get upset at the person and you immediately get cut off, or like you get the next 4 red lights and you think, oh, instant karma. But because like when the karma's not instant, we think, I get over. That's okay. That's okay. But that bad action just leads to more bad action.
I think it's also like if something makes you angry or frustrated and you go like drink to escape it, or you smoke, or you go, work really hard, to change your feeling. It's not that that's bad, but it's not fixing the problem. So it's still blind, like it's like if you truly saw the cause of the problem, you'd fix it. But because you do this temporary distraction, it doesn't seem bad yet, but it snowballs. If that's what you do every time you have a problem, now you have an addiction because you're going to keep having challenges with change. And instead of managing the deeper cause of the change being a bad experience, we default to another action that creates another bad experience later.
I like
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Because it's like isolating the word bad and saying it, even if it's not bad yet, that habit is not going to fix the original problem. The problem's not going to go away. It's going to keep coming. And so the only direction it can go is worse, really.
Or even worse, if you like the bad action is what creates the suffering, but you instead keep doing the bad action. Like you keep adding more problems to the problem. And then because that's your solution to a bad feeling, you keep doing the same problem again. And it just spirals, Like it's so bad.
Something as simple as you see people who wedge their phone in their shoulder when they talk. Like, no problem. Those neck muscles really strong. That's not going to be an issue this call, the next call, today, next week. Pretty sure if you continue to do that. I had a guy I used to work with, and his neck was in a weird position kind of permanently because of that. And he used to get migraines. But the habit, it's not as simple as, I'll just swap it to the other ear. It's not that simple. That doesn't magically erase,
The wise action of buying a headset might have changed that guy like his whole life,
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wrote speaking when we make you speak blindly and then it returns back. I'm trying to think what the additional one was for. I mean, I could think when you argue and you say something, you overstep or you're too sensitive, or, for guys, we usually add too much fire to it, or the passive aggressive style, and then it gets kind of blown out of proportion. That lack of clear communication and sharing comes back later. It's not like that's the end of the speaking. How do you explain number 2?
I mean, I feel like action is so much easier to control, but it's still so hard to control my actions sometimes. Like my subconscious can be so powerful. It's hard to really take control of your life force. It's even harder to take control of your speaking. So I see a lot of people with pain and they say it'll never get better and use words like that. It's like that tells me how strong your thinking is in that direction. And if your thinking is in that direction, that's not practical. You can't make anything happen when you think, say, and act in a way that makes it cause effect. Definitely not. You know what I mean? So speaking is either practical, meaningful, and creating something positive, like an ability, or it's negative. It's comparing. It's what's the word? Gossipy, or like it goes in that direction, and that creates disharmony between you and the outside, and it, like it's just a spiral of negativity either way. Like it's a spiral either way. You're either creating in a wise way and it's going,
Yeah.
or it's going down into grubby anger and more irritable, more grumpy. And then you're like that.
I don't like it. That's why we laugh at the anger.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the actual content of those words are. The whole vibration, that energy wave is a.
I've done retreats with people and you get like, I'm hypersensitive. So I hear people on the retreat complaining about little things. And I naturally think, oh man, they've complained about a lot of things this retreat. I've done a terrible job. And then I take them to put them in the taxi on the way, like they're leaving. And I say, hey, I hope you had a good time. And they're like, oh, it was the best holiday I've ever had. And I'm like, you complain that much on your favorite holiday? Wow. And it just was an eye opener. Like, people get stuck in a bad experience and that's their normal. And just because they're complaining doesn't mean they're not having a better time than they normally would.
And the level of complaining you would associate with, that's the worst holiday ever. It's like, this is the least he's complained ever on a holiday.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And your speaking creates your reality and reinforces it and then kind of mirrors back on you. So you don't want to be saying negative things. Like, I don't even like saying the word hate unless it's for the purpose of explaining to people I don't like using the word. How do you describe a word without actually saying it? You can spell it.
Yeah, good to have that awareness of those words. Particularly, you mentioned the example of talking about oneself. So if I ever catch myself thinking that, saying that, kind of reframe it, re-say it, just to remind myself it is possible, rather than I'll never get it. I never say that, at least not aloud, because that's, you say it, you hear it, you think it, it's evidence in the wrong direction.
100%. And even when I'm preparing for the worst case scenario, I'll say it's good to be considerate that this might happen, but I used to say this will happen and then this will happen when I'm actually just cranky preparing for it, but I'm also making that more likely to happen by saying it. Like, if you've ever like learned to ski and looked at something and gone, I really don't want to run into that thing, and you run right into it because you're looking at it.
That's a good way of doing it, to say, okay, this might happen.
I got to be concerned.
Definitely fail. I knew it would.
If I'm not careful, this might happen. So you're creating the possibility it might happen, but you're also giving yourself a solution to it. If I'm not careful, but I'm going to be careful, so it won't happen.
I remember reading somewhere that speaking is the fastest way to create bad karma, and I thought, yeah, that applies. That applies. You know, the ability to keep one's mouth shut at the right moment, and instead I'm like, blur, like, I shouldn't have said that.
And once you've said it, it's out there and you can't take it back. So easy. And you can say so much so quickly. And you don't really know how they're receiving it until the shock wears off and they react. You know, like, you don't know if they're feeling it, they're laughing at your joke, or they're really offended until the surprise wears off.
And you were doubling down with every additional word.
Yeah. I've done that in sessions. I've made jokes about stuff that people weren't politically on the same page as me, and I got too far. And then they'd stop and say something back, and I'm like, oh, you're one of them.
Did you take their silence for, you should keep going, enjoying this? And you're like, oh, let me keep, I'm on a roll. I'm on a bit now.
No, I turn it around and pretend I was joking.
That's a good call.
Anyway, where were we? Intention.
We did 3. Should we do 1 or 2 more and try and get some practical things for people to take home?
I was thinking of making a practical one from this one.
Cool.
Yeah. I think the first practical thing that we should all do is take out as much of the swearing and like negative, disrespectful conversation out of your daily speaking as you can. Try and remove the urge to talk negatively about others because you wouldn't like it being done to you, and it's not your like true worth. You know, you're not here to talk about other people in a way that we know we're not perfect. They probably know they're not perfect better than anyone. So we don't need to talk about how imperfect they are in case they hear it, and only talk negatively for constructive criticism and practical development. And if someone asks you, or it's your duty to help them.
Can you add a little bit more on that? So I think you added the last bit really well. If someone has asked for it, as opposed to, let me tell you how you can improve.
Yeah.
How do we, because focusing on speaking positive and basically deleting what we were writing that was negative. But yeah, can you explain more about the constructive part?
I just decided that if I create karma if I send karma outward by my speaking and action, and I don't want to receive negative consequences anymore. I need to start controlling what I'm leaking out in terms of the actions and the speech. And like you said, that phrase is really clear. Speaking karma is where you can create the most bad karma because it's so easy to do. You can say so much when you're out of control, and or if you don't even know people are listening, you don't think they can hear you, you know? Like there's so many ways you can speak and they misunderstand you, and it just turns negative. Like you can be in an argument and just say something not badly intended, just neutrally intended, but it gets taken badly. So you're better off. I like the Taoist saying, if you can't improve on silence, there's no need to make any noise. Like you can, and if being quiet is a choice, and then everything I say is a choice, I need to start controlling the result I create with what I say because it's a cause. And taking out disrespectful, negative, or swearing or low class conversation, anything where you're comparing or being bitchy and like
low
gossipy.
quality, low class. That's a really good way to look at it. And for myself anyway, I often notice it once it's come out of my mouth, and then okay, well that's one way to change the discipline. Be like, oh, okay, watch that. That's not necessary. But then ideally, I can feel I'm in a negative mood, and then just being quiet will get rid of it. You know, like you said, you say something neutral, but you're in an argument that gets taken as negative. Neutral gets shifted to negative. Yeah, okay, well in that case, the zip.
Yeah, say less. You know, listen more.
Say
That's
less.
another one. Say less is a great saying. Like I needed to hear that because I talk a lot, but I've started trying to use like if I'm going to speak, I want it to be good intentioned. I want it to help. I want it, and not from my own personal perspective of this is a good joke. I like it. Everyone will like it because that good joke might either not be funny, be boring and annoying, or offend. You know, like it's so trying to come up with something that's meaningful and relevant and can bring people something useful was a much easier intention than me trying to make everyone laugh or be the funny guy or say the cool thing or whatever intention comes up when you're a dumbass.
Yeah, and that maybe that comes back to the bad action thing because I remember the feeling you say a joke that you think's funny, no one gets it, and then you immediately think, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't the right time. I'll just do it
I
again.
should say it again.
No, bro. Someone's like, no, we heard it the first time. Okay, message received. Just
Yeah, message received. Yeah.
like, in case you wanted to keep telling that joke that we didn't think was funny, we'll just clearly. That's a really
So
good one.
you get people nowadays, even what they write on Twitter, they later have to delete when they control themselves a bit more. Now, where I went to a Bill Bailey gig once, and he like played some. He's a musical weapon, you know. So he pulled out some old music, but bangers, you know, from the day, like, and he played them and was like then pointing out how I doubt we'll be playing any of the One Direction tracks in another century, you know, like just pointing out when it's like harder to get your message across, you a little bit more careful with how you craft it. Well, today we can speak and communicate at a rapid rate, so we calculate less and we say a lot more. And that's a dangerous combination when speaking is the
Recipe.
way.
That's a bad recipe right there.
And what was your saying? What did you just say? That you read that speaking karma is the fastest way?
Fastest way to create bad karma.
Say it again.
Speaking karma is the fastest way to create bad karma.
Yeah, I can totally understand that because people think and speak sometimes at the same time. Sometimes they don't do both of them.
It's optional. They sometimes, yeah, mutually exclusive. You know what I mean? This
Yeah, I
mouth
think
work
as
brain.
I'm speaking out loud a lot of the time. So, yeah, it's good to rein in your speaking habit because it is a really powerful tool. What you say, and just for reference, we are now sharing wisdom that was spoken by our consciousness that doesn't appear in this space currently, but we're remembering the wisdom they shared. So they use the same speaking power to share something that was so deep and powerful, it's still true today. And it's so deep that we have only gone through the first three.
Mm.
Not even. We didn't even go
We
to the
didn't
third.
even really do three. We're still kind of two. Yeah, wow.
And I reckon if we had people ask us questions about these two, there's a lot more to still unpack. So, yeah, that's how powerful speaking can be.
Isn't that funny? How many things have I written in forums, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, that will still be around in 2,000 years? I would really have to dig through because it's going to be close to zero. You know what I mean? So,
Well,
but I
they'll
like
still
that.
be there. They'll still be there, but whether you'll be proud of what you said or it'll still be true, that remains to be seen. It'll stand the test of time.
Yeah, and that the attitude of you still want to share, you still want to create, but is this the best I can do? Is this high quality? That's why I like your low quality. You said low class. It's like, is this speaking low class? It's like, yeah, actually, this one's lower, this one's more on the money. This is more constructive, positive, inspiring. Just that little bit of self awareness changes behavior a lot. So it's cool to share.
And we often don't realize that people are sensitive of what we're feeling and thinking. And even if we don't say the stuff, if our rhythm has normally been saying that stuff, people are sharp, they can feel it. And you won't be welcome in some people's space because they'll be able to feel you're that type of person, even if you're not saying it. And I remember as a man, like there's a lot of barriers and walls up because of the potential for violence and stuff. And when I was first living out of home, it was quite lonely. You first move out as a teenager boy, you're all of a sudden not trusted at that age where you become a man. You go from being like this sweet little boy that everyone will welcome into your house. And then next thing you know, you're this adult sized male that people have question mark about you now. You have to prove you're trustworthy.
Hoodlum.
And to be honest, I didn't trust myself, so they could feel that. And I didn't have a lot of doors open for me. I still was treated with respect. Don't get me wrong, but I had to earn credit again. I had to demonstrate that I could be good,
Rather than just
capable.
assumed that you were in that category of, of course we would trust him. Why would we not trust him? That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it was because a lot of my internal turmoil was out of balance and they could feel I was an unstable, little bit out of control. So we don't want to leave you alone with anything we value or, and that's fair enough. I wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah, because they can feel you're not 100% sure on how you will treat it, and they just pick up that vibe, and they're like, okay, it's not clear. We'll
Why
just
risk it?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And cause effect, like we're always saying. And you've got to learn to guide that cause and effect back into harmony. That's what this channel's about. Tension-free
Oh,
TV, drop a Dharma. We're mixing it together to create wise connection.
oh, that's great. Bring it back to harmony, and that's a nice way to wrap up these two. Because for me, I like reading philosophy that's sharp. For me, it really cuts through anything that gets written in modern days. But I'm aware that for someone else reading it might be too sharp. So I like how you added the word harmony at the end. It's like, okay, where's a direction? If I don't know what bad action or good action is, harmony is a good neutral to start observing. Or like you said, with speaking, if I can't improve on silence, then that's all. That's always a harmony. Oh,
Yeah.
it's got to be close to harmony. So
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole point of this channel and this Dharma and the whole reason it was explained, the whole reason we're sharing it is to guide cause and effect away from suffering. And another way to say away from suffering is when things are back in harmony, back in function, back the way they're supposed to operate without blockage. And blockage in the heart and mind and body destroys harmony. So, not holding and accepting change as part of heart, not creating holding tension, and knowing the wisdom so that when our mind is talking nonsense or being negative or not constructive, we have this new Dharma to connect to. We have to change the information we connect to. What we connect to, we sort of become. It becomes our experience. So you're either connecting to wisdom, in which case positive cause and effect, or you connect to yucky, unhappy times.
Really nasty things you would like to get away from.
And the reason there's the lotus there, beautiful lotus there, is because the lotus grows out of the muddy dirt, which is the suffering and the negative. So changing the negative to positive is the whole point of Dharma.
It just reminds me of that joke you were telling. It wasn't Bill Bailey. There's another English comedian, I think, from Black Books.
But Dylan Moran
Dylan Moran. And he said,
is he English or Irish?
Maybe he's Irish. But he has a joke about there's only two kinds of red wine. There's a red wine they're like, oh no, thanks. I don't think we'll have any of that. No, that can go away. And like, oh yes, we'd love some of that. And it's like all wine fit in those two categories. Oh, it made me giggle. It's just like,
it's so funny. He did one about vodka. He's like, this, you'd be at a party, you'd be like, why have we got this clear, funny liquid? Why are we on a traffic island? Who would bring this weird liquid to a party? Why are we in the middle of the street?
It's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, awesome. Changing, total truth. We don't want negative cause and effect. So rather than following the changing blindly into bad action, wise action, learn Dharma, watch tension-free TV, connect to a drop of Dharma, whether it's the website and read it yourself or these videos. This is where we're trying to share Dharma because it helped us. We hope it helps you. Wherever you are, you're having a good time and you're having, enjoying life. That's what life's for.
Enjoying life. Well, thanks everyone for listening. So there was some homework in there. There's some links for the post and go on the app. Where can they find the app? So they can train.
Go to awarenesscenterglobal.com, awarenesscenterglobal.com, or go to my website, tensionfreebody.com, and there will be links there to guide you there.
Awesome. Always great. Thanks very much.
Thanks, bro. That was awesome. See you next week. Shaka
Shing Chi Jen. Later.